Got it. Is there going to be a PowerPoint for Marge, or? Got that? Okay, perfect.
I do.
Figure on top of it.
We're online.
All right. All right, calling to order the June 2nd, 2026 meeting of the Long Lake City Council. Good evening. It is 6:33 p.m. and all council members are present this evening. Item 2 is the Pledge of Allegiance. Please join me.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, good evening again. Item 3, Mayor's comments, Long Lake News, meeting review, and updates. A couple things to bring up tonight or mention tonight. First of all, Memorial Day services were on Memorial Day in Long Lake at Union Cemetery as well as St. George's Cemetery. I was able to participate in the Union Cemetery event, and appreciation goes out to all those that made that event possible, including the Hamel VFW, the Shoreline Fire Department Honor Guard, and as well as some military members were present to partake in the event. Great turnout, and it's perfect weather for it. We appreciate their efforts there. And there was not an event at Nelson Lakeside Park this year, and we're hoping that could return next year.
Sorry to interrupt, but I just noticed the live stream just isn't booting up.
Have you tried unplugging and replugging anything there, Mark?
IT crowd.
Yeah.
Sorry for the interruption.
No problem. Appreciate that. All right, Jeanette will help with that. Okay, and besides that, there was on Saturday our first annual Lilies, a lot of Zavago residents there as well. What a difference the Zavago residents make in our community, and their showing is great. They're wearing matching T-shirts and everything, so that was fun. Just a couple-hour event, and I know Park Board's already talking about their next event and how best to time that and make it a continuous improvement type situation. But it was a great event, so thanks to Park Board Chair Erica Leachman for putting that on, as well as Park Board members Donnie Chilstrom, Mark Pressing, and Kelly Grady. So those are updates since our last meeting 2 weeks ago. With that, we'll move on to item 4, which is to approve this evening's agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Item 5, open correspondence. Open correspondence is an item on the agenda in which the public may address the City Council. No formal action is taken by the City Council, and comments should be limited to 5 minutes or less. I don't think we have anybody with us tonight. And any for open correspondence? Any submitted open correspondence?
Nothing, thank you.
All right. Then we'll move on to item 6, the consent agenda. We have items A through E on the consent agenda this evening. Any questions for staff regarding the consent agenda? If not, I will entertain a motion to approve this evening's consent agenda.
Make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Item 7, regular business. 7A, Three Rivers Park District. Presentation and update by Commissioner Marge Beard. Welcome, Commissioner. Glad to have you here.
Thank you, Mayor, Council, and staff. I'm very glad to be here tonight, so thank you. So my name's Marge Beard, and I serve on the Three Rivers Park Board as the Commissioner for District 1. And District 1 includes 20 cities in western Hennepin County, including Long Lake. So I represent the residents of Long Lake on the Three Rivers Park Board. Click. So at Three Rivers, our mission is to promote environmental stewardship through recreation and education in a natural resource-based park system. So the key phrase in that is natural resources. Everything we do is nature-based. So for example, one of the things you won't see in a Three Rivers Park are ball fields. Ball fields tend to be city-type parks or municipal parks. We're a little bit more similar to state parks than we are the city parks. So click. So who is Three Rivers, right? We all kind of know about it, but who is Three Rivers? So we were established in 1957 by an act of the state legislature. So we indeed are a standalone local unit of government. We are run by a board of commissioners. We have 7 commissioners. 5 of the commissioners are elected. I serve in one of the elected roles. And we have 2 commissioners who are appointed by Hennepin County. Our district includes suburban Hennepin County. So it's just what it sounds like. It's Hennepin County with the exception of Minneapolis. So it's all the suburbs of Hennepin County. And that's because Minneapolis has their own park board. And we have, you might be thinking to yourself, well, Marge, I've seen those Three River signs down in Prior Lake and all that. How can you only be Hennepin County? Well, we have a multi-decade relationship with Scott County where we manage some parks on their behalf. And it's really a good partnership because it takes a lot of those administrative costs and spreads them a little further. So it's really good use of government. Click. We have 27 parks and park reserves. I'm going to talk about a few of the local ones here, but my challenge to you might be to maybe try a new one. We have 27,000 acres of land we manage, and that's the equivalent to about 42 square miles, so it's a lot of land we actually take care of. And we have 175 miles of regional trail, and regional trail are those trails that are typically found outside our parks. For the most part, they connect our parks together, and they're easily recognizable because they're 10-foot wide, paved, and they have a yellow dashed line. So if you see a paved, bike path type thing, and it's got the yellow line on it, you can be pretty sure it's a Three Rivers Park regional trail. We have another nearly 400 miles of trails within our parks, and those trails might be paved. Many of them are dirt, so it really gives you a variety of different types of trails. So there's really something for everyone. And we get 16 million visits a year. And again, this is suburban Hennepin County, so not Minneapolis. And that's really significant because it's over 2 times our state's population. So we really are a well-used, well-visited park system. So click. So I mentioned natural resources in the beginning. It's right in our mission. Natural resources makes everything go. From a lake perspective, we hire nearly 100 aquatic invasive species inspectors per year. Those are the people, if you have a boat or a jet ski, any type of watercraft, they may assist you or teach you to make sure that you can inspect your boat in and out of the water to try to keep some of those species from, try and keep them under control and less spread. We manage a lot of wildlife. One of the things that also makes us different than a city park is we actually have wildlife biologists on staff. Because we manage a lot of animal populations. And then the pictures we're looking at in the bottom right, that is a picture of Crowhassan Park Reserve, so maybe that's a new one for you to try. That's up in Rogers, and it is the largest restored prairie in the metro area. So a lot of people think of prairie and they think, oh, I have to go out to Pipestone or I have to go out to Marshall, way out west, hours away. And you really can just drive a half hour north and visit the Crowhassan Park Reserve. And just to pause on that just for a second, so we have a big activity happening at Crowhassan now. For a couple years, we've been working with Wisconsin DNR on restoring to Minnesota the Karner blue butterfly. Just what it sounds like, it's a little butterfly and it's blue. Used to be native to Minnesota and it disappeared decades ago, but Wisconsin worked on reintroducing it, and we're working with the Wisconsin DNR. We're going to reintroduce it this year. Some of the preparation that goes into that is the little baby butterflies eat lupine. That's the only thing they eat. So we've spent the past 5+ years increasing our lupine out at Crowhassan. And sometime later this year, I'm sure you'll hear there'll be big fanfare. We're going to reintroduce that butterfly there.
What is lupine?
Lupine is a native flower. It's tall, skinny, has purple flowers. A lot of people really like to look for it, and we really had to, so that's another reason to go there, just to look at the lupine, but we had to create the food source for the animal. So reintroducing an animal really takes a lot of steps to get there. And we've done reintroductions in the past. We've introduced the bull snake, and that's also been out at Crowhassan. And just another little side on that, the trumpeter swans, we all see those all over the place, right? It was in the 1980s, there were no trumpeter swans here. And Three Rivers worked with the University of Minnesota, and we had a pair of swans out in Carver Park, and that's how we have swans. So that we were integral in an introduction of that. So when you see Trumpeter Swan, you could say, our three rivers that, we're a part of, they were a part of that too.
I can attest to the bull snakes. I horseback ride and
Oh.
camp in Crowhasset very regularly.
Yes.
We book Riverbend every
Yes,
year.
That's a great place.
And last year, a 6-foot-long bull snake came to visit my horse
Oh, boy.
at the tail end of his pen. He didn't care, and the bull snake was much more worried about me
Yes.
than anything else. But I was like, "Oh my goodness, you are healthy.
Yes.
Good
they
job.
are,
Keep working."
They are impressive, and they control the rodent population, so it's a
Yep.
good thing. So, click. So this year, we are celebrating the Year of the River. And 2 years ago, you may recall, we celebrated the Year of Bugs. And 2 years before that, we celebrated the Year of Birds. So it's kind of a new thing for us. It's our third annual. And we pick a theme, and we do a lot of programming related to it. We do book clubs, we do speakers, we have a variety of activities that come in. And the reason we picked the Year of the River this year is because it is the 100th anniversary of a United States government study of the fish population on the Mississippi River. And I know some may know this already, but so 100 years ago, they did a study from Minneapolis to Red Wing. And guess how many fish they found?
How many varieties or how many total fish?
So that is a very common question, and it's really how many total fish? And I'll just give you the answer. It was 3. Okay, so think about it. That's how polluted the Mississippi River was 100 years ago. And if you think about it, that's the heyday of all the mills and, agricultural runoff with no filtering or anything. So to celebrate the fact that there's a lot more than 3 fish out there and a lot more than 3 species now. So we've been celebrating that this year. So click.
Well, maybe they didn't have good equipment for finding fish.
Maybe, it could be, right? The whole study was flawed, right? So we talked a lot about natural resources, but let's face it, why do people come to Three Rivers? For the recreation. That's what usually brings them through the door. We are fully open for summer now. Memorial Day marked our boat rentals, so our watercraft rentals. So if you're looking to do that, kayaks, stand-up paddle boards, at Lake Independence and Baker, we have paddle boats and things like that too. So that's all available. Everything's open. Golf courses are open. Playgrounds are open. So we're fully ready for summer. Winter was a good season this year because we had some natural snow. So we were able to ski where we don't manufacture snow, like Baker. There was some skiing that happened there. But we do indeed have 2 locations where we manufacture snow: Highland Park Reserve and Elm Creek Park Reserve. And if you remember, 2 winters ago, we really didn't have much snow. And if not for those 2 locations where we make snow, the high school teams would have had no places to do any ski races. And we all kind of know if you disrupt those kids from good activities, maybe they find other activities. So we were really happy to make sure that we had those ski activities to keep the races going. So click. So Baker Park Reserve is the most visited park by Long Lake residents. So for those who may or may not be familiar, so the big red barn, does everybody know where that is? Okay, so I see the nodding. Everyone nodding, no, I know you're a golfer, because that's right on hole 1 of our championship golf course. And then in kind of the bottom left, we have a 200-spot campground there, and we have we're wrapping up a capital investment project there to upgrade and expand the electric. So we upgraded from 30 amp to 50 amp. I don't have a vehicle, but my RV friends tell me that's a very significant, important thing. And we electrified an additional loop. So that'll be wrapping up, worked on it last year, it'll be wrapping up this year. But we continue to, just to demonstrate, we continue to make investments into our parks. So click. So also locally around here, I'm hoping you've been to all 3 of these parks, but Galewood Farms is in Minnetrista, and it is a working farm. It was a donation from the Gale family in about the year 2000. And the goal of Gale Woods is to educate people on where their food comes from. It is indeed a working farm where we harvest crops and animals and we sell them. So you can get meat and crops and things like that out there. Another investment into Gale Woods this year, we're putting a solar array out there, and it is going to take Gale Woods off the grid. So it should, the goal is it should supply all the electric needs of that farm. And the farm had I guess, more electric needs than you might think, right? When we tried to pick a location for this, we tried to pick an education center, and Gale Woods is one of our education centers. So it'll also be there to like teach people about that as well. Lake Minnetonka Regional Park, the home of the swim pond. If you've not been there, that park is on Lake Minnetonka. There's boat access into, or, there's fishing dock and access into the lake there. And there's a swim pond, and the swim pond has a nice sandy bottom, and it's got chlorinated water. So if you don't like or don't prefer some of the things that you might find in the lakes, no worries. You can just come to the swim pond. It's really like a big swimming pool with a sandy bottom. And Nuremberg Gardens is also on Lake Minnetonka, but there's actually no access to the lake. It was a donation from the Nuremberg family, and it's a formal garden. Also a very popular wedding location, too. So another place you can easily just pull in and cruise around there for, a few minutes and just see the formal garden and plants. So click. Before I talk, but moving forward, you heard me talk about partnerships with Scott County and just other kinds of partnerships. We're always looking to work with the cities in our district in suburban Hennepin County. So as your council wrestles with different things related to water, animals, land, anything nature-based, we would like you to feel free to reach out to us either through me or staff, and we'll make the connection. Like I said, we have different people on staff that cities may or may not have, foresters, wildlife people, all that. So if you have any of those challenges, we can certainly help. And then the one thing I don't have a picture of, but I did just want to highlight, the one park, so not quite in this area, is Mississippi Gateway Regional Park. And that is in Brooklyn Park. You may have known it as the Coon Rapids Dam Park. It was called that for years. And about 10 years ago, we embarked on a big project to really redo that park. It was kind of a sleepy park. It wasn't even open year-round. And it's on the Mississippi River. Like, how were we not taking advantage of that resource? I'm not sure how that all happened, but have no fear, that is not a problem now. And I know Mayor Minor's been out there, and it's fantastic. So when you kind of get there, there's a visitor center, which has a great deck off the back, and you can sit around and take a look at you can see the Mississippi River from there. It's got easy access to the river. Off the visitor center, which is called the Gateway Center, there's a Treetops Trail, and it's just what it sounds like. It's a trail elevated in the treetops, so it's a boardwalk, and it goes out to a vista where you can overlook natural resources. The birders love it because they're a lot closer to where the birds hang out, and it's all ADA and handicap accessible, so it's a great location for those who might have walking devices or things like that, or are kind of afraid of uneven stuff. You could really get close to nature without having to worry about tripping and falling or anything like that. So I appreciate your attention, and just thanks for letting me come out and share about Three Rivers. It's my pleasure to
All right.
represent you.
Thank you, Commissioner Gray. Any questions, comments from folks? Yeah, loved the system. Was out in Baker walking on Sunday with my wife, and get there in the wintertime to snowshoe. And
Yeah.
yes, I went up to, thanks to your advice, I went up to that, the Mississippi Gateway, and last summer and checked that out. It was brand new, and
Yep,
that's
brand new.
great as well.
Spectacular. It's awesome. And that was
Yeah.
a partnership with Brooklyn Park, because they own a lot of
Okay.
the land on the other side. So another partnership where we continue to work with our cities. So
Yeah, then you can walk across the dam, and then I think you're in Anoka County and Anoka County Park over there. So I'm sure there's some kind of partnership and relationship there as well.
Yep. Well, the first thing is that park on that side is called the Coon Rapids Dam Park. And if you recall, I told you we used to be called the Coon Rapids Dam Park. So that was thinking the
Confusing.
GPS on that. We had a lot of people in wrong places. So it was good that we renamed it and highlighted, not so much the dam, but highlighted the Mississippi River. So thank you,
That's
Mayor.
great.
Council, appreciate it.
All right, thanks, Commissioner,
Thank you.
this evening. Okay, moving on, keep the park theme going here. Moving on to 7B, consider approval to establish an off-leash dog park at Dexter Park. City Administrator Nowicki.
Yes, thank you. So I will be discussing this with council today. There'll be two motions in front of you. The first motion that we have is to establish an off-leash dog park at Dexter Park. So recently we've noticed that a lot of our residents have been using the Holbrook Ice Rink as an informal off-leash dog park. And over the years, this space has continued to grow in popularity and usage. And as we started to make plans for our ice rink rehabilitation, we didn't want to leave these residents with nowhere to go. So we have worked on establishing an off-leash dog park. We started to talk about different ideas. Jeanette and I brainstormed and started looking at the maps. And we wanted to do something that would fulfill this need for the residents without costing the city a lot of money, because it was something that we had not budgeted for, but we do see a need as we start to develop the ice rink over at Holbrook.
And not only that, I'm so sorry to
No,
interject.
that's okay. I'm trying to get my map up, so.
While
bear
you're
with
working
me.
in your map, it is one of the most often things we get all summer long, or in our residents, or just Long Lake residents, or people stopping in all the time asking how to get passes to a dog park. So, Long Lake residents are stopping in left and right looking for passes to the Susan Lerton Orono Dog Park. What if we could offer our own to serve our own neighborhoods in a low-key Long Lake style? Anyway.
No, thank you, because as I mentioned, I was trying to find my drawing, which I could have sworn I had saved. I had not, so this is what I wanted to show council today. So when Jeanette and I were talking about what we would be looking for at a dog park, I would like to keep it natural. We would like to make it fun for the dogs without having to have a lot of maintenance in the future. And Jeanette actually brought up this location. Just north of this picture is the Dexter Park. And this space here is city-owned, but is not being utilized for anything right now. And we started to brainstorm the idea, and then we worked with Sean of what it would take to turn this into an off-leash dog park. And so today, we have two motions in front of you. The first would be just establishing our idea. We have worked with a few gate companies, fencing companies, and received quotes on what it would cost to fence this area. And as staff, we discussed what would be needed for both Public Works and for our residents to make this safe for themselves and their pets. So up on the northwest corner, there'd be 2 4-foot gates that would allow Public Works access for mowing. And then in the center, and this was determined after we went out and walked the site together, that would be a 6x6 area with a double gate entrance. We feel that this would allow residents and their pets the ability to enter the dog park without risking of another dog trying to sneak away or causing any issues. We also felt like this central access would allow residents from both the Dexter side and from Watertown Road to be able to access this amenity. So we have started to look at different funding, and if council approves on going forward with this, we did reach out to fencing. We thought that would be the largest expense, and we received 4 different quotes. So the second motion that I present to council today is to approve a quote from Northland Fence in the amount of $14,023.52. This would be for a 5-foot black chain link fence and the gates in which are shown in the drawing. In addition to this cost of the gates, there would be other expenses, such as we would tap into water, and Sean has researched it, and there is a water line that we could tap into fairly easily. So we would be tapping into water. We would be relocating some logs and boulders from Public Works. Then we would look at adding some benches, possibly donation benches. We're still weighing that out, and then the dog poop bags. Yes. So I think that this project would not exceed $30,000, but would add a lot to our city if this is something that we would be interested in doing. Like I said, we are thinking that as we start to move forward with repurposing the Holbrook Park ice rink, that it's not going to be we would prefer not to have it being used as a dog park in the summer. And depending on what type of base we end up using, it might not work anyways. And so we really wanted to find some place that our residents could go, and we felt like this would be a good option. As I mentioned, this is not a budgeted item. However, because it is a newly created amenity, we have verified with our city attorney, and we would be able to use the park dedication funds to fund this project, which would be my intention.
How much are in those funds?
There's around $60,000. That's
Say again, where was it coming from? I'm
the
sorry.
park dedication funds. If you remember, those are restricted funds that are donated at the time of usually developments, and they can only be used for a new amenity, a new park amenity.
Specific to a park?
New park
New park
development.
development, correct.
New park development, new park capital, new
New
recreational.
enhancements, correct.
Yeah, exactly.
And where were those funds? Where did they come from? Those from,
If you were, so in 2026, I actually separated our park fund into restricted and unrestricted. So before they were all in the park capital fund, they were within that.
Let me see if I can take this one
Sorry,
a little
okay.
bit. Park dedication fees are required to be paid as part of land use applications for development.
Okay.
So when the Stacks was developed, when Zavago was developed, certain subdivisions as part of their land, their developer's agreement, they are required.
and those are restricted for park?
They are
improvements.
restricted for park dedication purposes, so, which makes them very hard to utilize. In a fully developed community, it's rare to have an opportunity to establish a new park amenity when you don't really have a lot of vacant land. But we do have this area and this idea.
Where would people park? I think they could park, there's plenty of space in the turnaround for Dexter.
There is space in the turnaround for Dexter, and there are also multiple
Some
pull-off
cutouts.
spots along Watertown.
Watertown.
And additionally, there would be certainly walk-in pedestrian.
I think there'd be a lot of walking.
From the
We
neighborhood?
actually saw it happen while we were there.
People do come and throw the ball to the dogs
Yep.
there.
And this is an example of what we were thinking, something similar. It would be rather basic. We would utilize some logs and rocks from Public Works that we already have to decorate a little bit. We don't want to go over the top, anything that we're going to have to really maintain. It would be pretty simple.
The 411, that's the total linear feet? That's not the square footage, is it?
So on his proposal, it
Or
came out.
441, I mean.
That's the linear feet.
Yes, it came out to linear feet. And so on his proposal, I believe, we were joking because Jeanette and I were using the GIS mapping to try to give estimates when we were getting our quotes, and we came pretty close. So on the estimate that he had prepared for us, it was 476 linear feet of fence. And then, as I mentioned, there would be there'd be 8 feet of mowing gate, and then that does include the 6-foot entrance section. And it would have, the entrance section would have self-closing gates.
Nice.
So
So has the park board had any discussions about this as
this
well?
was not, this was
I
completely,
actually did talk to them
okay.
about it,
This
yes.
was developed as a city staff, and then Jeanette brought it to park board. So you can please
Okay.
share with council where.
I actually mentioned to them that we had this idea at a meeting before we got really into the warp speed planning for the beach bonfire. And the park board was very excited about the idea. They haven't seen the full proposal for the fence. However, time is of the essence on the fence because fence companies are busy. And if we want to get the fence installed, now is the time to get favorable pricing and to get it in. But they had all sorts of fun ideas about how to do like a grand opening or a celebration or a memorial donation, or so I think our next step, if the council were to approve this tonight, I would be scheduling a park board meeting in June and saying, guess what? That thing, they were all so excited about the idea. And I would basically be saying, guess what? The framework's approved. We're moving all systems forward with the framework. would you guys like to plan the grand opening celebration and what it would look like, and go from there. But the idea is not to be spending an exorbitant amount on doing it, but rather the dollars that we spend are on the necessities, you know, the fence, the gate structure, the dog waste stations, the water line, and some seating, and to really use and repurpose natural play amenities to create the fun parts.
Can I ask you a question? So why do we need the water line and just keep,
Water for
the
water for dogs.
oh, okay, water, oh,
So
that'll
be
be
like
nice.
You need to have a
self-serve,
water
or
station.
would
Yeah.
it be a water?
We want there to be some sort of a hydrant for someone to be able to fill a water bowl.
It's not
for their pet.
required, but I think when Sean and I were talking, there's actually a water main that runs right from the park through almost near the entrance to the street, and he said the cost to tap into it, I want to say was roughly around 6,000, and he said it would probably serve, you know, even for the residents to be able to fill up water bottles and stuff, just kind of a nice
Yeah.
convenience.
Yeah.
That it would be nice to maybe just do it
Yeah,
at the beginning, include it in the park creation, and be able to use those restricted funds. at
because
the
his
same-
basketball court's not too far away from there.
True.
Right.
Right.
It-
True.
There's no reason why it couldn't
Playground,
be
Drinking
accessible.
fountain or something like
Yeah.
that someday for humans too.
Yes.
And the reason we're bringing this, so when we were having the idea and going through it, we wanted to make sure that we brought council a fully executed idea. Well, these are the costs with the estimates. This is how much it's gonna cost for water. This is how much it's gonna cost. So that way, you could make a decision if this is something you were interested in or not. So that's where the 30,000 came in as a limit type number, but there's a lot of flexibility in information to still be worked out as far as what type of watering system we would have, if we would end up doing the benches, memorial benches. I know some people want memorial plaques. I'm looking for, we'll see.
There would still be a lot of input for
Lot
the
of
park
input.
board to have, but the form,
The idea would be yours.
the decision and the form is a council
Yeah.
decision and
Be
expenditure.
sensitive to their needs, that's kind of what they're there for, is to help
Right.
guide us in those in-park decisions.
Exactly. And they are aware of this. When I discussed the location and the idea, you know, I described, you know, the flat lot on Dexter, they were jumping, you know, they were very excited, and one of them proclaimed how quickly they could sell and market the insert blank here out of that. And so there was a lot of excitement there, and I think the board is going to be nothing but thrilled.
You know, I
How
like
clo-
the idea of putting it there, but one of the things, like, I was just kind of drawing some, like, discussion, because you've got parking there, I think one of the, there's a,
There's 2 bump outs on Watertown, yeah.
I think
But
one's
even more
right here.
like, if you kind of move that map, there's where the playground equipment is, there's, is that parking, is that
I don't
our
know if I
own
have it on
parking?
this map.
Or is that, for the, rental?
Well, that's for the
apartments?
rental apartments. There's 2 cul-de-sacs. There's one on the west side of the playground, there's one on the east side of the playground. So there's probably a little bit of parking in both.
Yeah, because, you know, the one thing about Holbrook is it's much more, parking friendly, like, but it doesn't sound like that's a spot, but the.
It isn't, no.
Because you've got the rink there and there's no flat.
You also have the outfield for the ball field, and
So yeah, this parking here would be for the residents, so it would just kind of be,
when you are standing
Street
on that flat area, that cul-de-sac is generously sized.
Yeah.
yeah, we did have 4 cars parked in the cul-de-sac when we were meeting with our,
Wait, so
Yes.
where is it here on,
right,
oh, yeah, there.
Right
It's the
Okay.
flat lot right there.
so it's
And where's the playground?
right,
Actually,
Over
it's
there.
over a bit,
Under the trees.
yeah.
yeah, it's more
So
right
it's
here.
What, see the parking lot to the right of the playground? Like, it's right there where it comes
Oh, and May
That-
Street?
in. Yeah,
Because that parking lot is used for the playground, right?
Okay,
because that is a lot of, I mean, because people go to the playground, they can go to the dog, I mean, it's not that far.
Right. Yeah.
I think
for-
we're gonna actually see some real pedestrian activity as well.
Question, so between the basketball, the playground, the dog park, I know like Nelson has the seasonal bathrooms in there. Is that a consideration that we need to think about?
we do have
are-
bathrooms at this
There
one.
was one.
There is a
There's one.
portable
Biff.
restroom there.
Are there any liability concerns for the city for a dog park?
Because, yeah, because would we
What signage do you
With
put up?
insurance.
require a license? I'm assuming they'd have to have a dog license, which comes with, certain requirements, as an example.
That would be posted, and I think we would be asking Wayzata PD to have their CSOs do some spot checking. Obviously, we won't have the ability to have someone monitor that 24/7, but I think some spot checking will make that very clear. It'll be posted on the rule signage.
Because, would people, like at Lurton, I believe they have to get a permit from the city of Warren to use it, and that has stipulations with it. Would we
Our
require?
intent was
or
to
would
be
not?
more
Not do
low
that.
maintenance
Is to start with?
than that, yeah.
Well, I think one thing too that I think a lot of our residents, they want like hassle-free amenities. And so I see the liability that I think we'll definitely talk to insurance, but we don't want to ever charge for anything like this. We don't ever want any hurdles. And even if they were visiting, I want it to just be more of an amenity than something that we have to, I don't want to add any more work to City Hall or monitoring. I want it to be almost a low-maintenance thing if we could get it set up. But the liability, I did make a note to check on.
A low maintenance amenity to provide for the residents an enhancement to the park and a new park amenity for our residents to enjoy.
There are homes across the street on Watertown from that spot, right?
Yes.
There are.
They gonna be,
It looked, when
They
we
would-
were out there,
Concern, thought
There-
I had too, right?
it looked like there was kind of they're kind of up on like a hill.
Yeah.
Overlooks
Up
the
on like a
dog
hill,
park,
so it's
right?
not going to
Yep.
be necessarily right at the front, they're on a hill a little bit we were looking at.
Yep.
Have we had any conversations with
And on
them by
signage.
chance, or?
I did not. We could also set hours,
And a caution.
Well, a
use at
park
your own
curfew would
risk,
apply
no
regardless,
Liability on part of the
so-
city.
Oh, yeah, that'd be a signage there, right? Sorry, Jeanette, what was it, what did
The
you say?
same park curfew that applies
Oh, yeah.
to all park property would continue to apply.
Right, right. Because if we were to go through this one thing, I think it'd be very helpful, because I walk through there, 365 days a year, not necessarily every day, but I did today. But in the wintertime, it's challenging, because it's a natural, you should be able to walk through there like on a path, like from coming down the cul-de-sac to get to Watertown. I know it add to the cost, but especially to allow for accessibility in the wintertime, it'd be beneficial to have a paved path there, and they'd be the same width as our existing paths. I don't know if you had that conversation with like Public Works, but folks are gonna wanna go there in the wintertime, so they're just gonna walk across the snow, or they gonna, and I don't know if there's any ADA issues when it comes to, accessibility and service like that. So in an ideal world, I think to me, if we were to approve this, it would include adding it's not very long, but a path that would connect those two roadways.
Because isn't one of the, some of the land is owned by the park, remember the trees part from?
This particular parcel and everything that we would be using is,
But I'm not talking about that parcel, I'm talking about, you were thinking about a pathway from the circle on Dexter?
I think he's not like right here, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
right
part of
there.
that, are we crossing somebody else's land there?
I believe it's all our land.
This
It's
is-
all part of Dexter Park.
yeah.
But wasn't there an intermediate part? Does it go all the way up to, does ours go all the way up to that circle at Dexter? Because wasn't there a part that was zoned high-density housing?
We'll have to do 511.
Guided for the future, that's not that particular spot.
There's the Henry County map. That actually looks like it's a right-of-way that
Yes.
extends straight from the
Okay,
cul-de-sac there.
but
The area we're talking
Right
about.
here, and what about if this is the next one, which is, who owns this? Because if you had it cross to get into here, you're crossing
We
somebody
have
else's.
it up on the big map here.
Yeah, aren't you crossing somebody else's, a little bit of somebody else's property?
This isn't anybody else's property. This is right.
No, oh, so that's ours?
That's right away, yeah.
That's right away, okay. So it's the other property that's in part of that property?
Yeah, you're right, that's Hillside
was that
Terrace.
intended to go through at one time? Is that why that's right away?
Sean was talking about it a little bit, I don't know.
This way.
I think it did way back in the day. I think it may have gone through before the Highway 12
I
project.
believe it probably did. In fact, one of our fence contractors we were meeting with remembered that there had been a house on the pad that we are,
Oh,
Because May Street used to go through.
yeah.
yeah, and we have to remember there were 30-some odd houses in that area that were taken. He used to live in in an area of rental housing that was taken from this same area. So it was,
So everything in green is City of Long Lake property, and then this is the right of way.
So there's pretty much one property across the street whose view will
We
be
can put it on the right of way
affected
'cause
by
it's
this, is that
ours.
right?
Okay.
I apologize, what?
So I'm looking at the property across the
Can you turn
street
that into
from
the
the
aerial?
park, or from where the dog park would be. And it's really just that one.
click on aerial.
Up here.
Aerial
Yeah,
upper right
that's the
corner.
one up on that hill.
Yeah,
Yeah, so
it's a fairly new resident, moved in there about a year ago,
I was wondering what they're gonna,
and that kind of overlooks it, right?
yeah, it's gonna change their view out their front door, but,
The house on Creekside, not so much, it's pretty wooded in there, but
I think.
it's more exposed.
Oh, yeah,
but
that's
but it's
true.
the other one.
It is
so-
pretty high up.
The one next to there, that one's probably the one that's, now scroll over to where the park will be, the dog, I guess it would be,
So it's gonna be kind of right, yes, like
pretty
kind of in the
wooded right
middle of,
there.
like there, it will be
yeah.
across from these trees, which is nice, because we're gonna go right along the tree line
Here, would it be easier if you want me to grab the,
Pointer,
yeah.
you wanna point it, because that probably, so yes, our
Yeah, so it's
intention,
not directly.
it's not, it's not gonna be right up.
So it's actually going to barely enclose these trees here and essentially come like this.
So just a little wider than that plot line.
Can you
Okay.
scooch it down just
But
a
a
little
lot
bit?
of people actually
There we
use
go.
that green space now for
Playing
dog
with dogs, yes.
Frisbee or that kind of thing?
Yeah.
Sure, sure.
So,
Do you
right,
use that space? Oh, we
Well, I
used
don't
to?
have a dog,
here.
but,
Yeah, you used to.
Walk through. Yeah,
We're-
probably,
And
yeah.
and our goal with this idea is, like I said, currently, we have a lot of residents that have started using the Holbrook ice rink in the summer because it's enclosed as a dog park. I believe as we start working on trying to get this ice rink to be more functional for our city in the winter, we don't want it to be used as a dog park in the summer. We may look at eventually doing concrete or whatnot in that area, but we don't want any restrictions on what we have to do to make it an ice rink. We don't want to be thinking of other needs it has to fulfill. And so we thought this would be an opportunity to relocate our residents into an area that was designated for that, with the ability to put up signs. Because I'm thinking, like, you know, like Mr. Topic mentioned with liability, right now they're already kind of using an area that is not advertised as such or regulated as such, or and so there's not proper signage. We haven't gone through the proper channels to make sure that we're protecting ourselves as a city. This would be a designated area where we could make sure that we appropriately sign it and cover any issues that could arise.
the other thing too is that short of Holbrook Park, this site also really and truly is the most limited impact to residences of any other location in Long Lake, because the only immediate sight line of this area are these two properties to this particular parcel. And this parcel has its own storage things already happening on this property. So I don't know that
It's pretty wooded through there.
it is, and we noticed that. So,
And the bump outs that Jeanette was talking about, can you just show on,
yeah, so there's a bump out here and a bump out where someone is parked already right here,
in addition to the cul-de-sac?
in addition
And the
to
parking
this
on
cul-de-sac, which you can see one car is parked here, so that gives you an idea for a frame of reference.
No, I think for liability, if it doesn't kind of cause a lot of issues, just because I know that Susan B. Anthony, sometimes there's conflicts, not necessarily with the dog owners, but with the dogs.
Yes, Susan Lurton, I think Susan B. Anthony was a
Lurton.
historic.
Susan.
Sure, she's from Long Lake.
I was very confused. I was like, what?
Okay, sorry,
But
but.
we got what you're saying, yeah.
Yeah, I was more thinking, but, I think the dogs could have issues and where do
Some
you
of the
hold-
biggest issues I think that they've been having at that park have also been dogs escaping. We've heard some stories about dogs running across the highway, which in part is why we are big advocates for the double gate system.
Yeah.
Self-closing.
Because- Yeah, a self-closing double gate system, because especially if you have more than one dog, you're juggling multiple animals and whatever stuff you may be holding. When you come out of the first gate, it's really nice to have a second gate in front of you,
Right.
still providing
A barrier.
some measure of control while you're getting yourself together.
Of course.
But dog bites, if dogs are fighting, I mean, I think this is all
There
very
are-
self-regulating.
Yes, it
Some
is.
warning signs that,
There are always risks inherent to any off-leash dog park. It is just like with any swimming beach. There always is, an inherent risk. You're swimming without a lifeguard, and no one's watching you. We will, of course, have rules signage posted in multiple locations, would be the intent. That's another reason why we want to do things like have water and have multiple natural things so that there isn't just one thing for a dog to play with. There are multiple boulders, multiple things to run around, but natural things that we already have that we can repurpose. So the intent is to be thoughtful and to provide a large space, not a small space. Our hope is to provide a thoughtful amenity with very well-posted rules, and to hope that our dog owners who are already using an off-leash dog area continue to use it and continue to use it responsibly. We know that we'll see more dog owners participate in this. We have mentioned the idea just to continue to test the waters as we've had folks come in to purchase their dog licenses and have seen a lot of enthusiasm about the idea. I think we would just, want to make it really clear as we put anything out there that we need people to be respectful and responsible dog owners.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I wonder, I know you're, the fence pricing, I think you're kind of in a hurry and that kind of thing, but I wonder if we, table this for maybe next meeting, to have, I think we throw out some concepts to you to research and stuff would, as far as liability, insurance and that kind of thing what are your thoughts if, doing it, giving you a couple weeks to look into that, and maybe the trail, talked to Public Works about the trail concept, because I think if we did that, as far as the pavement goes, I think it makes sense to do that before the fencing is put in. What are your thoughts on that?
I can absolutely reach out and get some information on liability and find out with Sean too, what a trail of that length would cost. So I guess I'm trying to also make it.
You think that would have to be done before the fencing?
Well, I wonder, just the width of it, if,
That is, if it
especially,
was approved, it was ready.
this is done.
okay.
Especially if the gate, if the path went right up to the gate where the double gate would be, that would be, I wouldn't think that any contractor would want to do that after the fencing's put in, do that either before before the fencing's put in, would be a thought that I would have, or,
No, and it's absolutely, I can talk to Sean. I do apologize. He asked you, should I stay for the dog park? I was like, I don't think there's anything that will happen. I didn't think about a trail.
I actually did, but I was thinking more gravel because asphalt can be hot in the summer on
Where are
paws.
you thinking this trail's gonna go?
Wood
What's your
chips
vision
versus
for
gravel.
Charlie?
Yeah.
Yep, exactly.
can you hand me the clicker, please? I'll just kind of show,
He's looking right here.
yeah, exactly.
So just from that road
Yeah,
Connecting
connecting the
those two.
cul-de-sac to Watertown. I see a lot of people walking through there,
Yep.
and it's not so,
We always cut through there all the time.
yeah,
Yep,
At a diagonal.
diagonal, okay.
Well, and that's one thing, when we were when we were designing, where the bump out would be, it does kind of slope, so, yeah, we'd wanna look to make sure that, because it starts to slope a little bit over here, so I'd wanna make sure that we,
Yeah, I just think
good spot.
I think that should have been put in the first place. Like, there is a trail that goes from the cul-de-sac over to the other cul-de-sac. It connects the two cul-de-sacs, but then it's like the segment's missing between.
It
the-
stops.
Right.
No, I can absolutely check on that.
Some reason they wanted us to walk around.
Right. Get some more exercise, I
Do we want to
guess.
look at a covered area for people to get out of the sun?
There is a
so they
covered
watch-
area.
Watch their dogs fight from shelter?
We're trying to keep the trees, as
we're
many trees as
keeping the
possible.
shade trees, and then
Okay.
at certain times of the day, it's hard to tell from this photo, there is a fair amount of shade that, depending on the time of day, does get thrown here by these boundaries.
Okay.
Because it would really be coming up along the line here. There's a natural point at which, when you're out walking the property, you can see it starts to dive off. And so the idea was to fence and then leave a good 5-foot mowing clearance for the mowing deck of flat, so
The
that
big
was. the goal.
crater on the left there, is that,
It's a wetland, isn't it?
This is where, I think they had.
That's wetlands, yeah.
Yep.
it's like old
And there's covered picnic stuff in the park,
Oh, okay, cool. All right.
but you don't see it on there.
Right, covered by trees. Okay,
So, yes, we are absolutely okay to table this. I would like to also make a note that I think we might start as soon as, this week, of getting rid of some of the existing dog park. It's not a dog park, it's the makeshift dog park things. That is something that we will be removing
Oh.
regardless of what we do with this. Because it is not in our, it's kind of causing a nuisance as we're trying to plan and get prepared for fall and winter. So we will need to start removing any dog park ideas from the Holbrook Ice Rink.
okay.
Public Works has been starting to
We are working on our
meet and
project.
brainstorm and visit some other,
We're making it a timely priority versus a reactive priority. And so
Yes.
that's something that they're gonna start trying to clean up. I know, a Boy Scout a couple of years ago had donated some obstacles and stuff, but we need to get all of that
Oh,
out of
okay.
our way.
yeah.
Can I show, so if we use 30,000 on this, and so we have 30,000 left, is that gonna go to the concrete base for, Holbrook?
It cannot.
It cannot, because it's not a new park.
It's not a new, it's not a new
Oh, okay, I thought
amenity.
it could be a new
This is what is so unique about park dedication funds and this opportunity.
Yeah,
It's very rare that we are able to come up with a new idea,
and this is a new park.
and this
'cause
is a new
This is a new
park.
park. Now, the trail connecting might be able to be added into this cost. I just don't know what that type of cost is. So the 30,000 did not include any type of trail between the, between Watertown and Dexter, so.
Since it's sort of in my neighborhood, I like the rustic nature of it. So I would kind of want more to maintain the rustic, just because it's kind of low impact, particularly for the neighbors across the street when it's just,
Like rustic as far as the trail or rustic as far as the area itself?
rustic regarding like just making it a low impact concept. And that's why I like it, because it's just like low impact.
That was the goal.
Yeah.
Use some natural things that we have on hand from other developments and road projects, like some of these boulders we've had hanging around, and, you know,
And there's enough room that people, because people, I think, like to throw things to their dog and have a huge, some people have a really good throwing arm. They can throw it really far. And, you know, they can go across the park and the dogs go across the park, so it doesn't, there's still room for people to not necessarily be in that fenced-in area if they don't want to.
Yeah, there could be. I don't think there's gonna be a lot of that space left once, based on the
Dimension.
diagram we
I do
saw.
have one diagram, I don't actually, I maybe can show you. So what they're saying right now is the length of the fence would be 142 inches.
Yeah, probably feet.
So you could throw it.
He wrote inches,
that's a foot.
he has a double.
Inches?
He did write inches, but I bet he does,
It's
Yes.
150 feet with,
Yeah.
and then on the one side it has 142
Yes.
plus the 8-foot gate, so 150.
Okay, thank you.
So you could throw the.
I was looking at
this
this, I was looking at, I was like, he wrote inches, but I don't think that's right. So, yes, there is a size in the, quote from Northland. I will say, and Councilmember Qualley mentioned, I do have to look at Northland fence. So we had 4 quotes, and they came in, 2 were quite a bit higher. Northland came in cheaper. However, and I think it was just because of the timing of their, when they're trying to do their projects. I have to double check on the 30% discount. We had to do 7 days, and I did get an extension because I said that we weren't able to do any agreements or anything until after it went to council. So I can see if that 30% discount changes at all to expand it. And right now, we were looking at mid-July for the project implementation. So just keeping in mind that this might be a later summer project, if we still go with Northland. If we look at other fence companies, I don't have
I
their
would,
dates in front
yeah, I
of me.
would think that if they knew that we're gonna move on to another customer, they would be flexible with that.
I'm pretty sure that, I mean, they're probably flexible. So right now, we're looking at July, so I think we just need to plan, if we put out 2 weeks, maybe we would look at the beginning to middle of August for this to be up, installed. But I don't have a preference, whatever we do, so.
All right, any other questions or anything? Well, do I need to make a motion to table it, or do we
We
just,
have direction.
I think
got
we're,
direction stuff? Okay.
yes.
Oh, yeah, thanks, hopefully just a couple weeks could,
Specifically, you would like me to check on liability and look at the cost if we do a path between Dexter and Watertown.
yeah, and the feasibility path, and then just along, connected to liability is, licenses, I think we're probably gonna have to say that users must have a license, there'll be signage there, and
Yeah.
signage is a big thing, obviously, and yeah.
Yep.
And disclaim any liability, but does that always work?
All of that goes on the sign, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I will check.
Jeanette, do you envision like the sign, or either one of you, the license, would it have to be a City of Long Lake, or could they use the City of Orono, City of Wayzata? Everybody have similar requirements as far as vaccinations and that kind of thing? So don't they have to show you vaccination records still when they get a permit from us? a
Yes, they
license from us?
do. In my mind's eye, I kind of view this as being an amenity for Long Lake residents. I do.
That's pretty hard to
Right,
police.
but then,
It's hard to
yeah.
police, but like, that's the focus. So
Orno Dog Park, just for Orno?
No, I believe they open it up.
Licensed,
What's that?
you do have to
If you get a permit.
purchase a permit.
you have to
Oh, from
purchase a
Orno?
permit. I don't know what their fee structure
there's
is.
a-
I can look into it.
Resident rate and a non-resident rate is my understanding for that one, yeah.
I'd
so.
have to look into that a little bit.
This might be under the radar screen, though.
Yeah,
Small enough, it's probably gonna be used.
yeah, I mean, I'm not looking, my intent to market this wouldn't be to blast this out to quite that degree. I want this to be something,
It's gonna get spread.
it'll eventually make its
regardless.
way a little bit, yeah, but like, we would maybe direct mail this to our residents.
And we might look at something, maybe a QR code on a sign or something where they can buy we have this online permit software now. Maybe Jeanette can figure out something.
We won't be able to do an online permit purchase, but we
We'll figure
can link them
something
to the form, yeah.
Does the state have any setback requirements from like residential for like smell, sound, all that sort of stuff? Yapping, I mean, call it what you will, but that and also runoff from like waste management from a water standpoint,
Well, that would be why the dog waste stations,
which they
Yes.
still though assume.
I know,
Only
I know.
a certain percentage will use those and.
you could make the same argument about, I would say, every person walking their dog along that road
Yeah,
that's already
I
there.
agree. I'm just curious if the state.
I know,
has it.
I know.
I can look
Like
at
health
that.
department, that sort of thing. I don't know if
Yep,
there's anything.
yep.
Or the Orno Dog Park, there's a lot of debris.
Debris.
Is there? Have you been there?
Yeah. It's
Okay.
nice, though. I mean, it's a big park. I mean, it's
Yeah.
got a huge wooded area. But you do have to be careful when you're walking.
Interesting, which is unfortunate.
It
Yeah.
might be that I was more in the spring.
Makes sense from winter.
Yeah.
So I will table this, we will look at these concerns and I will let council know at the next meeting. I will answer the questions and we can make a decision at that time if this is if this is gonna be a good fit for the city or not.
That sounds great.
Great, thank you
Great
for
idea.
No problem.
effort on that. Want to make sure we do it right, just like
Yes, absolutely.
other things. Okay. With that, we'll move on to other business. Item 8. Go around, Councilmember Newcomer.
Congratulations to all the seniors who are graduating this week, Thursday night.
Yeah.
Sounds like they've, yeah, everybody's ready. I have to know my daughter hasn't been to school very much at all, so that's,
Hopefully it doesn't rain. You're going to do an anti-rain dance.
yeah, anti-rain dance. I will not be here for the next council meeting. I think you and I discussed that. I'll be overseas, so
Okay.
Yeah.
my apologies. I don't think there's anything on the agenda that I need to.
It's the dog park, you know, but besides that, no. Yeah, I think it'd be fine.
Okay.
Enjoy your trip. All right, Councilmember Feldman.
I got nothing other than congratulations. We've got 2 graduating seniors represented here.
Right, right.
It's exciting times.
Do you have another one, or is this your last one too?
It's got
That's
lots
my
more.
first one.
First one? Oh, I'm
I
sorry.
have 3 more to go after this. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I have a daughter as well that's
How'd the party
graduating,
go?
so congratulations to her. And I never knew that there was a swim pond at the Lake Minnetonka Regional Park, so I wish
Oh,
I'd
that's a
known.
nice park, yeah.
Is it?
Mhm.
I didn't
Yeah,
know.
Newer park too.
Yeah, all right. Well, that's all for me.
Check it out. Yeah, nothing else to add that I haven't already mentioned, so pass.
Nothing for me.
I was just gonna let council know that last week I met with Jody Wentland, I hope I didn't butcher her name, the county administrator. It was a wonderful meeting. We got to talk about, some of the concerns that we have as a city and, how we can work better with Hennepin County and try to get some of these areas that we share together taken care of and work for the same goal. So I'm very excited to work with her in the future, on certain projects that are gonna be coming up.
Great, you thanked her for the gates and everything, and the gates up and running.
Yes, so,
Fantastic.
yeah, it was a wonderful meeting.
All right, great, glad you did that. All right, Jeanette.
After, not terribly long ago, implementing a new website and agendas and meetings management software, unfortunately, due to all sorts of new accessibility requirements and such, we will be needing to update our website and meeting software to a new interface and new design that has accessibility checkers and such. Yeah, so that is underway.
What do you mean by accessibility?
That's ADA state
It's ADA
statute.
requirements.
Yeah, DOJ requirements have to meet this 2.2 standard and such,
Oh,
so.
font.
Exactly, so, well, all sorts of things, fonts, colors, just redesign, layouts, the whole kit and caboodle, so we're in the process of making some selections and getting into some final decision-making. So you can expect you're gonna be seeing some changes to our websites over the next probably 6-month period. I do think that the new layout and interface are actually going to be really nice to work with in the long term. I think that there's some comments on ease of updates and all sorts of great drop and drag features that are going to be wonderful, and some limits that are being removed from our agendas and meetings management software. But the process and the timing are a little unfortunate,
How
so.
come it wasn't
cost.
flagged before? What, was it like, because didn't we have a website designer?
We happened to come in,
On the cusp of the.
on the cusp,
right.
exactly before this ruling came down. And so it's funny because our website was actually being used as very much of a model
Showpiece.
for new customers. And we and a certain number of other clients are in this situation. So because of that, I've been able to negotiate a couple of things, like keeping a job opportunities module that we aren't technically supposed to keep when moving over. So there's a couple things that I'm negotiating and pushing to keep and retain, and but we're making some hard choices. I've had a lot of meetings related to this to make some educated decisions on the best solutions for us and the most cost-effective solutions. So
The cost went up quite a bit, so.
How many of the things that need to be changed are common with other clients that our provider has? Are they able to take those costs and diffuse them out over multiple clients that have all these, or is there commonalities in the websites that?
The cities are by and large, unless they're going with a premium custom design, are choosing from essentially 10 standard templates that will have some limited customization. So like our color scheme will be able to be reflected. We'll still be able to retain like our refresh the page, get a new photo. If anything, we'll probably get more photos and an opportunity to refresh in the back there. I do actually like the new button layout. It's actually really kind of cool.
We spent a lot of time on buttons this week.
Yeah, we spent a lot of time on buttons this week.
You don't know we do during the day.
Yeah, it is amazing the things you get into when you're looking at design. We also are going to be using both of our city logos because we came up with a way. There's one particular template that we really liked the form and function of, and the best way to make the most of our logo was actually to put the nice large round one at the bottom and take the other stacked version and split it up and put it at the top next to each other in a side by side. So anyway, I've been making some tough decisions on what we're going to move forward with, but they're decisions that need to be made, and we need to get going on it. So
Well, that's unfortunate.
yeah.
So no grants from the
I've
federal
been-
government to help you with this?
Nope, and I have been very clear, and our rep has actually been very understanding of, hey, we recognize that you are one of the cities that is in a less than ideal position, so.
Right.
Yep.
With my full-time job, and a lot of cities and counties are having to change their websites to meet these requirements.
Exactly.
And most cities and counties don't have the resources to do it, and
Exactly.
hopefully, good that company's kind of guiding us through that, though.
Yep. So I do think the end product is going to be good. It's just, I kind of feel like it almost feels like we just finished this. Like it just feels like a blink ago. And
Right?
here I am. I'm going to be starting it all over again. I am not. I'm ready, but I'm also a little bit not ready.
So what was the precipitous of this kind of I understand, but was there an issue or a lawsuit that somebody said that, do you know what happened?
I am not fully aware of all of the details that have led up to it. At this point, I'm in a little bit of damage control mode, to be quite forthright. It's something I'll definitely be educating myself more on, but at this point, it's been more about,
Buttons,
Reactive.
let's get it done, and then,
yeah, I was just curious.
Right.
I know,
Exactly.
I will be learning more, because I'm sure it's going to affect other areas of what I do, but, yeah, the priority so far has just been, let's get there.
All right, thanks for that update, Jeanette, and best of luck with that. Thanks for your work on that.
Thank you, and sorry, because I know we liked what we had, but.
All right, hopefully it'll be just as good. It's a little bit different look. All right, last call, anything else? Next meeting is Tuesday, June 16th, potentially a work session as well.
Yes.
All right, so if there's no objection, I'll adjourn the meeting by general consent. Hearing none, meeting's adjourned at 7:42 PM.